Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we will dive deep into the explosive new drama surrounding Ridge Forrester's absolute obsession with Taylor Hayes and how Deacon Sharp is finally stepping up to put him in his place. I cannot believe what I am seeing on my screen right now, you guys. I have been watching this show for years, literally since the early days of the Ridgebrook and Taylor Triangle, and I have never been more frustrated with Ridge Forrester in my entire life. We need to talk about this because my blood is boiling. Ridge is currently making a move on Taylor, the new woman in Deacon's life, and it is driving me absolutely insane. Start with the facts. Ridge is Brooke's husband. Ridge chose Brooke. Ridge always chooses Brooke in the end. So why tell me WHY is he suddenly creeping up on Taylor the second she finds a shred of happiness with someone else? Because he is Ridge Forrester, and if there's one thing we have learned about this man over the decades, it is that he always wants what he cannot have. It is like a sickness with him. The moment Taylor is single and pining for him, he tells her they have a special connection but goes right back to his Logan. But the second Taylor moves on, the second another man looks at her and treats her like a priority instead of a backup plan, suddenly Ridge is obsessed. He is suddenly the protective alpha male who needs to mark his territory. I am so sick of it. Am I the only one who sees right through this guy? And let's talk about how he is going about this. Ridge doesn't just express a little concern. He completely inserts himself into her business. It seems like Ridge is genuinely obsessed with her life. He almost always has an opinion about her choices, her career, and especially the men in her life. This has prompted a lot of fans in the forums to wonder if Ridge might secretly be in love with Taylor still. Otherwise, why would he be so deeply invested? But honestly, I don't think it's love. I think it is pure, unadulterated ego. Ridge cannot stand the thought of a world where Taylor Hayes is not sitting around waiting for him to grace her with his presence. I know some people are loving this protective Ridge era, but personally I think it is toxic. While everyone knows that Taylor's affair with Deacon Sharp was completely wrong, and yes, we can all agree that sleeping with your psycho best friend's husband is a massive red flag, it is not like Ridge needs to constantly harp at her about it. He never stops. He's constantly lecturing her, berating her choices, and making her feel small. For a man who is just her ex-husband, he almost acts like her father. It is incredibly patronizing. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's back up and look at the actual dynamic here. Ridge walks into a room, puffs out his chest, and starts dictating how Taylor should live her life. He uses the very real threat of Sheila Carter as his excuse. Yes, Sheila is dangerous. We all saw the spoilers in the episodes where Sheila cornered Taylor in her office with a pizza cutter. That was terrifying. But Ridge is using that terrifying moment not just to protect Taylor, but to control her. He is using Sheila's madness as a weapon to make Taylor feel like she is incapable of making her own decisions. Oh, Taylor, you can't be with Deacon. It's too dangerous. You need me to protect you. Please, give me a break. But here is the best part, and the reason I am actually screaming at my television. Deacon Sharp is not having it. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say that Deacon is going to want to see Ridge stay in his lane. Yes. Finally, someone is standing up to the great Ridge Forrester. Deacon can clearly sense that Ridge wants Taylor, and he is not going to mince words. He is going to tell Ridge to back up, and let's just say it is going to get ugly. I am so here for this. I have been waiting for someone to put Ridge in his place for years. Deacon has grown so much as a character. Remember when they tried to make Deacon this irredeemable villain? Yeah. Didn't work then either, because the fans always loved his charm. Now he is actually stepping up as a leading man. He loves Taylor. He told Sheila it was over. He is risking everything to be with this woman, and he is not going to let a pompous, arrogant dressmaker swoop in and ruin it just because his ego is bruised. Can we just imagine this confrontation for a second? I can already see it. Ridge is going to march into Il Giardino, or maybe Taylor's office, with that scowl on his face. He is going to start running his mouth about how Deacon is trash, how Deacon is a danger to Taylor, how Deacon will never be good enough for a Forrester adjacent woman. And Deacon is just going to stand there, wipe his hands on his apron, and tell Ridge to mind his own business. Stay in your lane, man. I cannot wait. It is going to be cinematic gold. Because Deacon has every reason to be concerned. His love rival is literally creeping up on his woman. Ridge is using his history, his shared children with Taylor, and is concerned to worm his way back into her heart. And Deacon knows that Ridge has a hypnotic pull on Taylor. Deacon knows that Taylor has a massive weak spot for Ridge. So Deacon has to draw a hard line in the sand. He has to show Taylor that he is willing to fight for her, unlike Ridge, who only fights for her when someone else wants her. But this brings me to my biggest frustration with this entire storyline. Let's talk about Taylor Hayes. I am sorry. But Taylor always seems like a woman who is dazed and confused when it comes to what she wants and who she wants, right? I mean, she is a world renowned psychiatrist. She literally counsels people on their relationships and their mental health for a living. Yet when it comes to her own life, she acts like a helpless teenager who cannot make a single definitive choice. Why is she always playing the damsel in distress? Why does she let Ridge talk to her like a child? If my ex-husband came into my office and started lecturing me about who I was dating, I would show him the door so fast his head would spin. But Taylor just stands there looking at him with those wide doe eyes, completely dazed and confused. It is infuriating. She needs to find her backbone. She needs to look Ridge in the eye and say, I love Deacon. I am choosing Deacon. Go home to Brooke and leave me alone. But she won't do that because the writers refuse to let Taylor be a strong, independent woman. They always have to tether her to Ridge's orbit. Even when she is with Deacon, she is still somehow defined by how Ridge reacts to it. It makes me want to pull my hair out. I know some fans are saying, oh, Taylor is just traumatized by Sheila, and yes, I get that. But her indecisiveness predates this Sheila drama. Remember when she was waffling about buying that beach house? Remember when she couldn't decide if she wanted to fight Brooke or be her best friend? She is constantly in a state of confusion. And now with Ridge making a move on her, it is only going to get worse. Ridge is going to confuse her even more. He's going to drop little hints about their past. He's going to remind her of their family. He is going to use Steffi and Thomas as emotional leverage. Steffi is already terrified of the Sheila situation. And Ridge is going to weaponize Steffi's fear to pull Taylor away from Deacon. It is manipulative and it is gross. And Taylor is going to fall right into the trap because she is so easily swayed. I just want Taylor to experience real uncomplicated love for once. Deacon is offering her that. Yes, their start was messy. Yes, cheating on Sheila was a terrible idea that could have gotten them both killed. But now that the truth is out, Deacon is fully committed. He is not hiding her. He's not ashamed of her. He wants to go public and build a life with her. Ridge has never given Taylor that kind of undivided loyalty. Ridge always had one foot out the door, waiting to see what Brooke was up to. So why does Ridge care so much now? I will tell you why. It is because it is Deacon. Ridge hates Deacon. Ridge has hated Deacon ever since Deacon slept with Brooke and fathered Hope. Ridge views Deacon as the ultimate scum of the earth. So the idea that Taylor, the mother of his children, the woman he considers pure and elegant, is willingly sleeping with. Deacon Sharp is completely breaking Ridge's brain. He cannot compute it. His superiority complex will not allow it. Ridge is not trying to save Taylor, he is trying to defeat Deacon. This is a pissing contest between two men. And Taylor is just the trophy in the middle. And that is why Deacon telling Ridge to stay in his lane is so powerful. Deacon is refusing to play the game on Ridge's terms. Deacon is saying, I am not fighting you for a trophy. I am defending my partner from her toxic ex. It shifts the entire dynamic and I am so here for it. I honestly think this upcoming confrontation between Ridge and Deacon is going to be one of the best scenes of the year. The tension has been building for months, ever since Ridge found out from Steffi about the affair he has been on a tirade. He has been ranting and raving at the Malibu house, acting like he owns Taylor. And Deacon has been patiently waiting at Il Giardino, trying to handle the Sheila fallout. But now that Sheila has supposedly walked away, though we all know she's lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike Deacon's focus is going to shift entirely to protecting his relationship from Ridge. And let's not forget how Brooke is going to react to all of this. Brooke is going to have an opinion. If Ridge is spending all his time obsessing over Taylor and fighting with Deacon, Brooke is going to notice. Brooke is already dealing with her own massive drama with Katie over the Logan fashion line. The last thing Brooke needs is her husband suddenly acting like a jealous high schooler over his ex-wife. This could cause a massive rift between Ridge and Brooke, which, let's be honest, happens every other Tuesday on this show, but it is still fun to watch. Wait, let's circle back to Ridge acting like Taylor's father. I really need to emphasize how weird this is. Ridge will literally walk up to Taylor, use his deep gravelly voice, and tell her what she's allowed to do. You're not seeing him, Doc. I won't allow it. WHO, do you think you are? You are not her dad, you are not her husband. You lost the right to dictate her life the minute you walked out the door, for the 100th time. It makes me so mad because it highlights the blatant misogyny and how Ridge treats the women in his life. He expects absolute devotion, but he offers zero commitment in return. He wants Taylor to sit on a shelf perfectly preserved, waiting for him to occasionally take her down and admire her. And the second Deacon comes along and wants to actually build a life with her, Ridge throws a temper tantrum. It is pathetic. And Taylor, sweet, beautiful, confused Taylor, she just takes it. She looks at Ridge like he is some kind of oracle. She lets him get in her head. I predict that when Ridge makes this move on her, Taylor is not going to push him away. She is going to hesitate. She's going to look deeply into his eyes, get that breathy voice she always gets, and say, Ridge, what are you doing, instead of saying, get your hands off me, I have a boyfriend. That hesitation is what Ridge thrives on. He feeds on her uncertainty. He knows that as long as she is dazed and confused, he still has power over her. And that is exactly what Deacon is trying to stop. Deacon sees what Ridge is doing. Deacon is a former con man. He knows a manipulator when he sees one. He recognizes Ridge's tactics, and he is stepping in to break the spell. I am so invested in this. I know a lot of people are exhausted by the love triangles on this show, and trust me, I am too. But there is something different about this one. Usually it is two women fighting over a man. Brooke and Taylor fighting over Ridge. Hope and Steffi fighting over Liam. It is so refreshing to see two men fighting over a woman for once. And not just any men, two legacy characters with decades of bad blood between them. The history between Ridge and Deacon makes this so much sweeter. Ridge has always looked down on Deacon. He has always treated him like dirt on his shoe. So for Deacon to finally have something that Ridge desperately wants, and for Deacon to look Ridge in the eye and tell him to back off it, is the ultimate underdog victory. I am rooting for Deacon so hard in this storyline. I never thought I would say that, but here we are. 2026 is wild, you guys. But we have to talk about the Sheila factor again, because it is the giant elephant in the room. Sheila's not gone. We all know she is the mysterious stalker watching Deacon and Taylor. Sheila promised not to hurt anyone physically, but she is a master of psychological warfare. What if Sheila realizes that Ridge is trying to steal Taylor back? What if Sheila decides to secretly help Ridge? Think about it. Sheila wants Deacon back. Ridge wants Taylor back. They have a common goal. Could you imagine a world where Ridge Forrester and Sheila Carter have a twisted, unspoken alliance to break up Deacon and Taylor? Ridge would never consciously work with Sheila, of course. He hates her. But Sheila can manipulate the situation from behind the scenes to push Taylor back into Ridge's arms, leaving Deacon broken-hearted and vulnerable so Sheila can swoop in. It is classic soap opera plotting, and I am calling it right now. If this happens, you heard it here first. Even if Sheila doesn't team up with Ridge, her mere presence is going to complicate everything. Because every time Taylor gets scared of Sheila, she is going to instinctively look for protection. And Ridge has spent decades training Taylor to view him as her ultimate protector. Deacon is going to have to work overtime to prove that he can keep Taylor safe, not just from Sheila, but from Ridge's emotional manipulation. It is going to be a battle of epic proportions. Ridge with his self-righteous entitlement versus Deacon with his street-smart devotion. And stuck in the middle is Taylor, perpetually dazed, perpetually confused, trying to figure out if she wants the man who broke her heart 1,000,000 times, or the man who is actively trying to heal it. I am sorry, but if Taylor chooses Ridge after all of this, I might actually throw my remote at the TV. I mean it. I have defended Taylor for years. I have rooted for her to find happiness. But if she lets Ridge ruin this for her, she deserves to be miserable. You cannot keep touching a hot stove and crying when you get burned. Ridge is a hot stove. Deacon is a warm blanket. Who's the blanket Taylor? But knowing the show, they're going to drag this out for months. We are going to get endless scenes of Ridge storming into offices, unbuttoning his collar, and pointing his finger in Deacon's face. We are going to get endless scenes of Taylor crying beautiful tears and staring out of windows. And we are going to get endless scenes of Deacon looking exasperated but determined. And you know what? I'm going to watch every single second of it. Because as angry as Ridge makes me, this is exactly the kind of high stakes emotional drama that made me fall in love with The Bold and the Beautiful in the first place. The history, the passion, the absolute ridiculousness of these beautiful, wealthy people ruining their own lives. It is my favorite guilty pleasure. So what do you guys think? Am I being too hard on Ridge? Spoiler alert, I don't think I am. Do you think Deacon actually stands a chance against the Forrester machine? And most importantly, do you think Taylor will ever wake up and stop being so dazed and confused about her own life? Let me know in the comments below. I need to know I am not the only one losing my mind over this storyline. Watch this space, as we have a feeling there is so much more to come. It goes without saying that B&B fans will simply have to tune in each and every day to find out what will happen next. I know I will be watching, probably yelling at my screen, and I will be right back here to break it all down with you guys. Stay bold, stay beautiful, and for the love of everything, stay away from Ridge Forrester.